Hey guys, how's it going? So, the platformer, in my opinion, the most underrated genre when it comes to gaming. I mean, of course, you got your Marios, your Raymans, your Crash Bandicoot, Bubsy 3D, Gex. I could go on all day. But what we're gonna do here is talk about some of the more understated games, some of the more forgotten games, some of the more undervalued games from this genre. And some of these games I feel have very original concepts that I think could be done today and a lot better. But look, enough rambling, enough bullshit, let's just get started.
Chill for a couple. We'll be back.
This is the day you have trained for. The day you have studied for. Utilize your superior skills. Your superior intelligence.
Sit down, rodent!
Sarah, baby? Oh, you were one fly.
Don't make me hurt you.
Learn to defeat your ruthless enemy, Steve of Hackensack.
Ryan, you're gonna get rude.
Shut up, quadruped.
Sega Dreamcast. It's thinking.
Timeout's over.
So, Super Magnetic Neo. I actually picked this game up recently and I love it. And I also hate it. While it's a great game and has an original concept, it is very difficult. So to basically explain what it is, the whole game's concept is magnets. Of course, magnets attract. The only thing is, the game is very tedious. So to sort of visualize this, here's a Dreamcast controller. Now if I want to jump on a red pad, I need to press the blue button, and if I want to jump on the blue pad, I need to press the red button. Now obviously over time, it's going to be very, very difficult. And here's the thing, I like when the game provides a challenge. You know, I don't mind the game being difficult, but I would say the one extreme pet peeve that I have in this game is that you cannot save. You see, this game is very similar to Crash Bandicoot, and like Crash Bandicoot, you need to go to a bonus room in order to save. Now, of course, these bonus rooms spike the difficulty by a lot. And if it's your first time playing the game, you're obviously going to play the first and second level over and over again. This is where the game gets frustrating. Because I mean, come on now, it's the Dreamcast. I understand why Crash Bandicoot did it, because it released in 1996. I get it, but why can't I just save the game? I think in this case I would rather play the game on an emulator than the real Dreamcast. I fucking love the Dreamcast, but this is the one extreme pet peeve I have about the game. But look, enough about the negatives. One other aspect that I love about the game is its cutscenes. So to sort of describe the cutscenes, it gives off a very strong Y2K Super Milk-Chan vibe. And I really like what the game's kind of going for. It has a very simple story. You know what, fuck it, I'll just let the cutscene play out.
Wow! What a huge battle!
Coming this way!
Help! All right, go, Pegatron XL! Show no mercy!
We now have total control of Pow Pow Park!
Yeah, not gonna lie, that's kind of all the context you get for the story of the game, but like I said before, the cutscenes get off a strong Cartoon Network vibe, and you know what? I fuck with it. But overall, I love Super Magnetic Neo, even with its giant fucking red flaw. Honestly, just like it purely because it does something so different. I mean, of course, when it comes to platformers, you have collectathons, you have, go right, go to A to B. But it does something odd. It kind of switches up your expectations. It kind of messes with the button layout. Like the fact that the game uses magnets as kind of like a platform, kind of sticks out. I've never seen a video game do that before.
Fucking magnets! How do they work?
And even with it using magnets, you still have to, use it like real fucking magnets. So like if I want to jump on a blue block, I have to press the red button and, vice versa. Would I recommend picking this up physically for the Dreamcast? No. Obviously for that red flaw, you can't save. You got to go through fucking tedious bonus rooms. So I would honestly check it out on an emulator, but either way, on to the next game.
that all about?
Sly Cooper, he's one cunning, devious, thievius raccoonus. Rated E for everyone.
Hi, I'm For Reals Y'all, and I'm here to rant about the Sly Cooper games. Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus came out in 2002. It was the second game that Sucker Punch ever made, and their first on any PlayStation console, but they knocked it out of the park, honestly. They made some really iconic characters, had a great soundtrack, and a really unique combination of stealth and platforming. Though the first Sly game hasn't aged super well, it's got a lot of mini games that you have to play that are very annoying. When it's good, it's great. But when it's bad, it can be pretty frustrating. But Sly 2 and 3, holy shit, that's a whole different ballpark. Those games are stellar. I mean, there are few flaws to find in those games. And man, the story is so enjoyable. They got the same composer as Grim Fandango, and he does such a good job. It's fucking ridiculous. It's like smooth jazz, like spy music. It's got fantastic ambience, but it also pulls inspiration from the part of the world that you're currently in. I would free roam around the open sections for hours and hours as a kid. I seriously just thought it was so much fun. Trying to string together the most complex sort of parkour, like free roaming methods that I could think of, and just having fun with it. They also allow you to replay the missions in all the different games, which is great. It really adds to the replay value. There are bottles and little secrets hidden throughout the world, and there's just so much to do and to look for. Sly 3 is my personal favorite, but a lot of people like Sly 2 best. Honestly, you can't go wrong with either of them. They're just so fucking good. I definitely do recommend giving Sly 1 a shot, but be warned, there are frustrating sections, and you will probably get frustrated once or twice. But the whole trilogy still comes out being amazing. Don't play Sly 4 though, that game sucks. It's made by a different developer. They fucked up Sly's character completely. They forgot that he's supposed to steal from like bad guys, so they make it so that he just wants to steal because he can't help himself. He's got thief blood in his veins, and it's like, they fucked it up, man. And all the villains in Sly 4 just suck. And some of the twists were just really frustrating, so just ignore that one and play Sly 1 to 3. And that's my piece on Sly Cooper. Please give the trilogy a try. Just please do it. Please.
With Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg!
So Billy Hatcher, a really underrated platformer for the GameCube. I don't know why Sega never really continued the series, but that's a whole nother topic. So when it comes to this game, at least gameplay wise, think of it as something like Katamari Damacy, but instead of rolling around, like Katamari, you're basically rolling around a giant egg. And of course you need to defeat enemies, collect fruit, you grow the egg, you crack it, you get a prize. I think you all get the point. Now, the game definitely has its fair share of flaws. I mean, the controls for the egg are kind of loose. Like, I usually get my egg stuck somewhere, or I usually lose my egg, fucking drop it in water. Like, what I'm overall saying is that the controls could have used a bit more tightening during development, but the game is honestly great for what it is, and the story doesn't necessarily matter. The game's very similar to like Mario 64, so like when you drop into a level, the goal is to get either the golden egg or one of these things. I don't know what the fuck it's called, but it's an overall very simple platformer, and this game is fucking filled with Sega Easter eggs. So like I said, the main goal is to, get an egg, roll it around, blah blah blah. But here's the thing, some eggs give you prizes, like they give you like little partners you could play with. And with that, you can unlock Chow's, Tails, Sonic, Nights into Dreams. Like I said before, this game is filled with Sega Easter eggs and I fucking love it. But either way, I like Billy Hatcher for what it is. It's a really underrated GameCube game. You never really hear about it a lot. And yeah, I just recommend you check it out, either on emulator or get the real thing. I guess enough bullshit, on to the next game.
Hello?
Hi.
Who is this?
You watching TV?
Maybe. Who is this?
What kind?
Well, it's big.
27-inch?
Yeah.
Picture in picture?
I guess so.
Swivel base?
How'd you know?
Under a white ceramic duck wearing a yellow raincoat?
Where are you?
Open the drapes.
One TV-obsessed gecko, revolutionary 3D graphics, free-roaming gameplay. It's Guess, Enter the Gecko. It's fail time.
Alright, so to give this one a little bit of context, my friend was live streaming at the time. Of course, I hop on Discord and we bring up Gex. I'm just, bringing this up beforehand because he was obviously live streaming, so there's obviously, game background and all that. The audio is going to be a little bit weird, but yeah, enough bullshit. Let's get started.
I'm not a platformer guy. I never played a lot of them. I don't know what input I would be able to provide.
Gex.
Gex, okay. Is he forgotten?
He's pretty forgotten.
I don't know, the meme brought him back. I'll say this, ready?
I feel like the meme is only really in the Donkey community.
I didn't hear of it from Donkey, I heard of it from Scott the Woz. But, so I always, knew that it existed, and I wanted to play it. So that was actually the first N64 game that arrived when I bought my 64. And Gex was the first Nintendo 64 game to arrive when I had purchased the console itself. And let me say, when I did play it, I loved the variation in every single level. It was very, very unique. It was no level looked the same to each other. I loved the Looney Tunes reference. His voice lines are hilarious because no one understands what he's saying.
Can I supersize this? Okay, I'll take a shower. You mean I'm not 99.9% clean? Are you after that old sandwich in my pocket?
But again, I feel like I'm a fake Gex fan because I've only played Enter the Gecko. And that's it. I need to play all of them. Which I think, if I remember correctly, they're releasing a trilogy pack or something with all of the original games, and I will play all of that when that comes out, just so I get the full certified Gex experience.
And how would you compare Gex to say something like Mario 64?
Mario 64 knows what it is. Mario 64 is a Mario game. Gex is it's a platformer, but we're gonna go to racist Chinatown level, then into Looney Tunes level, and then into cyberpunk level. There's a million different games that it is trying to be, and it makes sense because Gex's whole backstory, if you didn't know, is his dad died, I think, in Vietnam or something. And he basically grew up watching television, and his best friends were the characters on TV. So in Gex, he jumps into TVs and he's switching channels. So every level is a different channel that he's in, if that makes sense. Dude, he name drops the $6 Million Man, and I'm a fan of that.
What's up, player?
Just chilling.
I hear that.
What?
Huh?
Hot.
What?
You can't fight time, but Blinks can. Meet Blinks, an unlikely hero who controls time, using powers like rewind, pause, even record. Cause if he doesn't, time itself will stop.
Bling.
No Blinks.
Blinks, rated E for everyone.
For time control, there's no power greater than X.
Blinks the Time Super, one of the Xbox's more forgotten mascots compared to Master Chief. Blinks the Time Super is honestly a decent platformer with the original concept. Gameplay-wise, think of it as something like Luigi's Mansion. Basically, you're just collecting trash and throwing it at enemies. Now, the controls for this game, not gonna lie, it could have used a bit more time on an oven. But other than that, the general controls are fine, and of course the point of the game is to collect time crystals. Of course, you could rewind, fast forward, pause, all that good stuff. And again, you don't really see much platformers, do concepts like this and, Super Magnetic Neo. I would say these are the two platformers that do something completely different. But other than that, there's really not much of a story. I mean, there's one cutscene and that's it. And it's kind of weird. The way the cutscene is portrayed, it looks like it's going to be a strong, in-depth story, but you only get 2 cutscenes and that's it. Overall though, Blinks is a decent game. Would I recommend picking it up? Not really, unless you're a big original Xbox fan, which I am. I fucking love that console to death. Yeah, I guess on to the next game.
実はね、サンタさんが来てるの。嘘だーい。わあ、プレゼントだ。サンタだ、サンタだ。
あいつこんなところに。はい。奥さん、猿来てるでしょ。待って、逃げてよ。はい。逃げたぞ。やめて。待って。離せ。
でしょ。
So the Ape Escape series, one of my favorite series, and I don't even know where to get started with this one, but today we're just going to talk about one of my favorites, Ape Escape 2. This game is honestly a classic for the PlayStation 2. To sort of describe it, imagine a collectathon, but what you have to collect is frantic monkeys that are trying to kill you. That's essentially what this game is, and the monkeys in this game are chock full of character. It's not like you just collect, random monkey. If you go back to the hub world, that monkey, has a name and a story. Like every single monkey you catch has a little bit of lore and background to it. And I'm sure to most people that feature might be useless, but I fucking love it. Like every time I'm done with a level, I usually go to the hub world and look at all the monkeys I catch. It's a cool experience. And I also want to talk about the sheer amount of variety in this game. I mean, let's just start off with the levels. Of course, you have your jungle levels, since it's a monkey game. You can go through like casinos, factories, basically all around the world. Now, I like this concept. So in the first game, of course, the monkeys are all over different time periods. So you have to go back in time to get all the monkeys. Now in this game, the monkeys are all around the world, so yeah, you get the concept. Now in terms of story, I would say, at least in my opinion, it's kind of weak. It's basically the same enemy from the first game, except, oh no, the bad enemy is doing a bad thing again. Yeah, it's a weak storyline, but the game's overall great. Now, this may be nostalgia talking, this may be my love for this series, but I would highly, highly, highly recommend it. Now listen, what you gotta do, you gotta get a PS2, you gotta get a copy of Ape Escape 2 or 3, both are good, and you need to try this game out. I don't care, I will break through the screen and give you my PS2 in order to play this game. You need to play this game, it's fucking good! I'm sorry if I'm like overhyping this game. Yeah, I guess on to the next game.
There's only one hero who possesses the strength, the skill, and the courage to save the world single-handedly. Glover! Strength? Glover's got the magic and the moves to match big bad bosses. Skill? Glover's got the brains to solve mind-boggling puzzles. And talk about courage? Glover's got the to handle any challenge. Glover! For Nintendo 64 and PC CD-ROM. Gotta love the glove.
So Glover for the N64, I would say this is kind of a mid-tier game, but it's still good, although this game takes a lot of patience. I'm not gonna lie to you, this is not a very easy game. So to basically explain Glover, it's your basic platformer, but of course you have a ball. And the ball could be used for like a lot of things, although the control of the ball could have used, I would say, a bit more time in the oven. Of course, you could roll the ball, dribble the ball. It helps out a lot during certain levels, and you could actually change the ball to a bowling ball or a marble. And this is where I would say the game gets honestly interesting. If you press the R button on the N64, you could turn it into a bowling ball. You can use that against enemies. Or of course, if you're traveling in a level and the rubber ball is kind of moving too slow, you could actually turn it into a marble, and that way you could move more fast and, I don't know, precise. Now the story, of course, doesn't really matter, but I like what this game does with the hub world. So in the beginning of the game, the hub world is dark, spooky, and scary. But as you go through levels, of course, the hub world gets lighter, and better. Similar to Mario Sunshine with Isle Delfino. So overall, this game definitely has its downsides. Would I recommend it? Yeah, I would say on emulator. If you're gonna get the physical version, I'm pretty sure you're gonna get it for the memes. By the way, shout out to my boy Lucarian, he actually just got Glover, but yeah, I guess enough bullshit. On to the next game.
There's a new adventure hero in games, Croc. Join Croc as he runs, jumps, swims, climbs, pushes, stomps, and jelly jumps his way through a breathtaking 3D adventure. Help Croc through 50 amazing levels as he faces hordes of villains and obstacles, from swarming sharks and giant bees to slippery glaciers and hot lava. Croc, Legend of the Gobos. For PlayStation, Sega Saturn, and Windows 95.
So, Croc for the PS1. Now, at least in my opinion, this is a really underrated game. It just, I would say, has a few flaws. One of them is that it has tank controls. But believe it or not, at least for me, it wasn't that bad control-wise. My only argument with that is that turning around in this game is very tedious. Like, if you want to go left, right, or behind you, it's gonna take a minute. Now, the game is basically a collectathon. Think of something like Banjo-Kazooie, Mario 64. You get the point. You collect crystals, defeat enemies, beat the level. That's kind of it. However, to me, Croc kind of sticks out. Like it has a vibe about it that I honestly really love. And to actually give this game some history for a second, this was actually supposed to be a Yoshi game. So this game is developed by Argonaut Studio. They helped out with the FX chip on the Super Nintendo, and they actually helped out in making Star Fox. So of course they had a good relationship with Nintendo. So they attempted to make a Yoshi game. Nintendo kind of denied that, and here we have Croc. So I guess that's why it kind of has that chill, good vibe about it. I don't know, but Croc is an overall decent game. Would I recommend it on physical hardware? Honestly, yeah, because I think you're good either way. I mean, I'm pretty sure not everybody's a fan of tank controls, but hey, different strokes for different folks. Either way, on to the next game. So last but certainly not least, we got Voodoo Vince. Voodoo Vince is another kind of forgotten mascot for the OG Xbox, and this game has an original concept like Super Magnetic Neo, Ape Escape, Blinks, and so on. Basically, you play as Voodoo Doll, and of course you hurt yourself to get through levels. Like, there's this one level where you have to go up against gas pumps. Of course, they're throwing everything they can at you, but you drench yourself in gasoline, then it's gonna be, a little bit of an issue. And I honestly like the comedy style of this game too. I mean, the storyline doesn't really matter, but this game is chock full of good cutscenes. Basically, Voodoo Vince's owner gets kidnapped, and your goal is to, get your owner back. But every, I would say, cutscene or enemy encounter or boss fight has something funny to say.
Still with us, little doll? Most impressive. But you'll never make it past the piggy bank of doom.
Overall, though, Voodoo Vince is definitely an underrated game, and yeah, just kind of hope you check it out. Ladies and gents, that's it. I know this video's been going on for long enough. I just honestly want to talk about a bunch of platformers that don't really get enough love. I know this video took a long time to make, and I'm glad it's finally done. Now I could talk about some other stuff. But yeah, if you want to, like, subscribe, do whatever you want to do in the rush, and tell me down below your favorite 3D platformer. Tell me down in the comments. I'll see you guys later. Peace.
Do you like adventure, activity, wonder, danger, horror, pain, suffering, agony, death, disease, death, angel food cake? Ow!
You stupid